All right, we're taking a look at this boudoir photography business today. We're going to see if we got BSS for either of these two Google searches. So we're back here at GBC Universe. We all know this. We're taking disappearing boudoir photographers to the #1 boudoir photographer in their city. As always, our North Star here is FSIC, full spectrum intent capture. More on that in pinned video, home video, somewhere on this profile. And we care about FSIC because FSIC explains why all boudoir photographers either rise or fall. So we got our intent spectrum here in white. Highest intent people on the left. Those are people searching, boudoir photo shoot in my city, searching that in social search and Google search. And over on the right, the lowest intent people, they ain't searching for boudoir right now, and basically all of them don't even know what boudoir is. So those are, reach those people. Interruption ads via Facebook, Instagram, things like that. So we're here on the left talking about BSS with the highest intent peeps here in this brand, and our sister brand, Boudoir FB Ad Doctor, is way over on the right. It talks about BLCS, and with that one, we're only currently only work with boudoir photographers spending more than 10 grand a month on boudoir Facebook ads. So BSS, boudoir search sameness. This means a boudoir photographer has either 0 or 1 slots on page 1 of Google. 0 slots, terrible, because we know that approximately 80% of Google searches never even reach page 2. People, it's page 1 search and done. So we got to be on page 1. And 1 slot, no bueno either, because guess what? That means none of the boudoir photographers, 1 slot for each one. A buyer, we're not standing out at all. A buyer is simply going to click down, all 10, contact all 10, get price quote from all 10, negotiate, bring the price down, basically like suck out all that margin. And, we're going to be price shopped to death. So we cannot have this with our boudoir photography business. Now, even though 0-1 slots is bad, well, terrible actually for the business, it's extremely common, but it's not normal. So it's accepted, but it's not normal. And it's actually the symptom of 2 deeper root causes. And those 2 deeper root causes are market saturation and the false belief of page 1 equality. Market saturation, as people get new gear, new phone, new camera, throwing up their Google Maps profile, throwing up their website, posting in mom's group saying they do boudoir. So more sellers say number of buyers, makes it harder for each seller. And then the false belief of page 1 equality. That's what boudoir photographers literally assuming, kind of every boudoir photographer gets like 0-1 slots on page 1 on Google. And, if they're on slot 8 on page 1, and some new boudoir photographers enter the market and they, their website got pushed onto page 2, which now we know is basically death, invisible. Then, people just simply kind of accept it, be like, yeah, that's how it is. But it's a false belief, because I was able to go from 0 out of 10 slots on page 1 of Google to 9 out of 10 slots page 1 on Google with in only 10 days with this new strategy we developed, this new methodology. And so we know the false belief of page 1 quality is now false, because we know that Google will actually give us as many page 1 slots as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And we also know that boudoir photographer with boudoir search sameness is a disappearing boudoir photographer. Yeah, because we got 0-1 slots on page 1 of Google. We're either invisible to approximately 80% searches if we're on page 2 or deeper, or we're getting price shopped to death if we only got 1 slot on page 1. And disappearing boudoir photographer, dude, that's literally the canary in the coal mine, kind of the warning light flashing on our dashboard, where once that happens, eventually, the boudoir photography business is on a path of disappearing as well. But luckily, we got a solution, because we now know that BSS is true with social search saturation, aka S-cubed methodology. And with S-cubed methodology, it works exactly like the name says. We saturate social search with the highest intent keywords, highest intent buyer keywords in our city. And when we do that, that's kind of seeding what we're trying to do. It's kind of like the backside of the Andes Mountains, where the snow's melting. You got some small streams, small rivers. And then those all flow into the large Amazon river. And large Amazon river is page one of Google. And so we gotta start off strong with saturating social search though. So that get us on page one of Google. But the benefit is we're saturating social search, which means we're saturating page one of social search across all the social networks. People are buyers are searching the highest. Boudoir buyers are searching the high intent buyer keywords there. So we're saturating literally 5 different kind of surfaces by utilizing S-cubed methodology. And this is the only strategy I've seen that actually allows boudoir photographers to maintain the business even in the face of market saturation and grow the business even in the face of market saturation in a relatively quick time frame to get these results page one on Google, which helps do all that. And the only other second option I've ever seen enable a business to grow in the face of massive market saturation is having a massive, strong brand. But dude, those take like 5 to 10 years to build. We ain't got 5 to 10 years because we're in AI, and AI is literally taking people's jobs. And so we ain't got time to build it, but we ain't got 5 to 10 years. So we got to be using S-cubed methodology. And when we do that, it's the highest chance our business will grow. And my estimate is it'll actually help build a brand 8x faster than normal, if executed every single day. So it's kind of like an accelerator to build a brand as well. So example for market saturation, imagine if we're in, let's say, Indianapolis, Indiana. There's 1 million boudoir photographers, and we're one of them. Everyone's got a website saying they do boudoir. And we're like, all right, our only chance to compete here is if we crank up S-cubed methodology to the max, as many page one slots across social search and Google search as we can. So if we do that, we rank for the first 300 slots for all the highest intent keywords for boudoir buyers in our city. And as a result, we actually, those flow, and let's say we get the first 300 slots on Google, which is extremely difficult to do. Let's say we accomplish that. So anytime boudoir buyers looking anywhere on social search or Google search for boudoir photo shoot in their city, then they basically only see us, even though there's literally 1 million competitors. And as a result, whose business is still growing in this market of 1 million boudoir photographers? Ours. And whose businesses is failing and disappearing? All the other 999,999 competitors, because we're taking up the highest intent Google search, closest to the money, highest conversion rate. So yeah, this is why the S-cubed methodology is so magical. Now, once you're with S-cubed methodology, we have page one visibility. We're kicking, our initial benefit is we have more slots page one on Google. Our second initial benefit is we're kicking competing boudoir photographers off page one, effectively making them invisible. Yeah, so now that we know approximately 80% of Google searches never even hit page two, or page one and done Google searches, we can make people, invisible to approximately 80% of the market by literally just kicking them off from page one to page two and making them disappear in boudoir photographers. And page one visibility activates boudoir search visibility for us. So this is where we have our GBC recommended minimum of hitting 3 out of 10 slots page one of Google. Because when we can do that, we're definitely looking way better than everyone else who's probably going to have only one slot. And also, the people, there's a very, very rare chance that someone will have 2 slots, the same search as us. So if we got 3 slots, we're dominating everyone. And a boudoir photographer with boudoir search visibility is a visible boudoir photographer. So this is our micro universe here. We got a disappearing boudoir photographer with BSS. It's caused by the dual horns of market saturation and page one equality, or the false belief, page one equality. We now have the solution S-cubed methodology would become a visible boudoir photographer with Boudoir search visibility, and that's caused by us finally achieving page one visibility on our own. Now, I'm going to look at my results here from utilizing SQ methodology. I wanted to rank for this keyword BLCS Boudoir and take as many page one slots as Google as possible. So in 10 days, I went from 0 out of 10 slots in page one of Google to, well, we'll count through how many now. So organic slot 1, Instagram, me. Slot 2, me. Slot 3, me. Slot 4, me. Slot 5, me. Slot 6, me. Slot 7, me. Slot 8, me. And slot 10, me. So I'm from 0 out of 10 slots to 9 out of 10 slots, page one on Google in 10 days. So we're proving the false belief of page one inequality as exactly that, a false belief, because now we know Google actually give us as many page one slots on Google search as we want, or as we want to put in the effort to acquire. And Google PPC ain't doing that. Max they're giving us is one, I believe, one extra slot on page one, even if, there's extra inventory available, we're only getting one extra slot. And the momentum of those ads dies, that real estate dies once we stop paying for ads. SQ methodology has momentum to it. Not infinite momentum, but it has momentum to it where there's persistence of its existence. So now to the main course here. We want to see if this boudoir photography business has BSS, boudoir search sameness for these two Google searches. So all right, we're going back here. So first we're looking at boudoir photographer in Middletown, Delaware. So let's see. So I'm going to go to the organics. So here we go. Boom, they got one. Boom, they got two. Boom, they got three. Boom, they got four. I believe this, he has them as well. Yep, boom, they got five. And, okay, I believe this is them as well. They got six. Boom, they got seven. I don't think that's, hold on, did I miss one? 1, 2, 3, 4. That's sponsored. They got 5. They got 6. They got 7. They got 8. They do not have 9. They got 10. All right, so this is what we want to shoot for. Well, we want to hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10, but we got 9 out of 10 here. This is perfect. Someone's searching this. Who are they going with? Who are they going with? There's only 2 options in the organic searches. And I got, number 9 here, Elevate Creative Studio. So this is perfect. Wonder how much more work we need to do to get a 10 out of 10. But all right, so we definitely do not have BSS for this one. So we don't have BSS for that. Let's see the larger city though. So local, 9 out of 10, fantastic. We do not have BSS. Now we're going for kind of the largest city nearby. So that'd be Wilmington, Delaware. All right, so let's see. Boom, we got one. So we got one. We got 1 out of 10, dude. We got BSS. We got BSS for the city. For the city search. So we got local search and city search we look at. We definitely got BSS. Here we got 1 out of 10. And this is exactly what S-cubed methodology was built to solve. So going back. So first search does not have BSS. First search was amazing, 9 out of 10. Second search, we got 1 out of 10. We got BSS. We got 0 1 slots on page 1 of Google. We got to hit the GBC minimum of 3 out of 10. That's our goal. So if you're a disappearing boudoir photographer and you've done a local search for yourself, high intent keyword, as a buyer, saying you got BSS there, or you've done it at the city search, you may have BSS there, or you've seen for either of those, you're not meeting the GBC recommended of 3 out of 10 slots on page 1. And you're seeing that SQ'd methodology, finally your one way to solve that. Then, you're also taking into account that false belief of page 1 inequality. Yeah, it's false. That Google wants to give us as many page 1 slots as we want to take and want to put in the effort to acquire. So you know S cubed methodology is the path forward. And you understand market saturation, the two prongs, people getting new iPhones, people getting new cameras. And you like the initial benefits of S cubed methodology, get more slots on page one, and also kicking competitors off page one, so you're on page two where you're basically never going to be price shopped against them. And you're liking all that. And with regards to market saturation, you're looking at, you've seen AI, you know it's going to be taking more and more people's jobs. And as that happens, you know more and more boudoir photographers are actually going to come flooding into the market. And as more and more boudoir photographers flood into the market, they're actually going to, increase the supply. And as we increase the supply of boudoir photographers, we're going to be, harder to compete page one, lowering the basically more supply, lower demand of page one. And as a result, you realize you got a kind of fortified page one against a new future big rush of boudoir photographers. So as you're doing that, well, you're saying, okay, execute methodology is the only thing available to do that as well. And so you're liking all that. And you're also understanding that when we do execute methodology, we're actually kind of building kind of these invisible thematic keyword columns. And as we build these invisible thematic keyword columns, what's happening is they're kind of like, columns of the Parthenon in Athens, Greece, or kind of like, hub and spoke kind of spokes attached, to our business hub. And what actually happens is we're increasing the mind share, the back end, the kind of the AI mind share. And every day we successfully do, we're getting a higher and higher probability that we're going to rank here in the AI overview on Google. And we're also increasing the probability that we get recommended AI search as well. So this AI overview is really a, basically a kind of a premium placement. But AI search, dude, AI search is awesome as well because more and more people are using AI search every single day. And so this kind of invisible momentum building up in the background, and you recognize, man, this will also help you build a brand approximately 8x faster. Kind of all these benefits combined, kind of we're just showing up way more in everyone over time. And you're recognizing that it's better to, you decided you want to be a first mover on this because if you actually hop into this with your, and you exclude all your competitors from using this, because my plan is to only work with this with one boudoir photographer in a city, then what actually happens is you're building up all this initial benefits and future benefits of making massive strides, massive progress against your competitors, kind of putting a big gap between you and them. As you put a big gap between you and them, it becomes harder and harder for them to ever catch up. And conversely, if someone else, some other competitor in your city came with you first, or came with me first, and we're able to build a massive gap on you, get all those, initial benefits, what actually happens is you'd have to rederive SQ'd methodology on your own. You would not know if you've successfully rederived it 100% correctly or not. So then you'd actually have to go and, run SQ'd methodology on your own and match our output to then kind of maintain the gap between your competitor and you. And you would have to, you'd actually have to then actually exceed our output to kind of catch us and close that gap. So you decide, screw that. You'd rather be you decide you're going to be the first mover and not have to deal with kind of someone overtaking your spots. So if that's you, shoot me a DM. Hospital is currently closed for new patients, but when we do open slots for new patients in the future, yeah, shoot a DM and we'll see if you qualify to utilize our S-cubed methodology.